Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be once more discussing the approval of Joe Biden in his job as President of the United States. I do plan to make a few more videos going forward on other topics, but I want to talk about his job approval today, just in particular because I do think that this is going to be a very, very big indicator for the 2022 midterms. Not only do I think it probably will be a referendum on the Democrat Party, which is what we are seeing, historical precedent suggested we are headed into a red wave year. The polls are suggesting it, and it seems that all of the momentum is in the Republicans' direction. But when you look at Joe Biden's job approval over the last, I guess it's now over the last 18 months, almost 17 months, 18 months, it has been continually declining. Let's just take a look at this chart, this RCP chart, which I think does do a good job in showing. I mean, it is, it just shows the trends, but I like the way that the chart looks. It helps give a clear understanding of where we are at. So when you look back all the way to the start of Joe Biden's presidency, his approval was very, very high, if we remember. Some polls had him in the 60s. I never really think it did hit the 60s. It probably was in the mid 50s, possibly something like that. This has it at 54. If you look above, he's more at 56, 57% at the peak. But since then, he has been in decline, really. I mean, there have been a few moments where he rebounded, like right around here in April. And, that was whatever that was. But since then, since his administration took over, it has been in a steady decline. And now we head over here. It is at the lowest time in its history on the RCP average, which is the average that I actually enjoyed looking at the most, over 538. This is the lowest it's been. I mean, his approval is now below 40% on the RCP average. One of the first times it happened pretty much once here, if you can see this dip right here, and slightly right over here. I don't have my mouse on me at the moment, so I can't really point it out to you. But now we have dipped below and are now headed for 38%, I guess, if you go all the way down. So what does this say? I mean, there are a lot of issues that I think that people are very unhappy with. The major issue is the economy. The economy is not doing well at all. I mean, when you look at the way things are, the value of the U.S. dollar and of U.S. currency in general just doesn't seem to have as much significance as it did a year ago, 18 months ago, 2 years ago when Donald Trump was president. It just doesn't. There is a lot of inflation in the country. Significant inflation. Prices are up significantly. Gas is the biggest indicator, the biggest thing that is up as well. I live in Maryland, and gas is now at about $5.30 where I live. So things are high. The prices are high. Now, the national average is, I believe, still in the $4 range, but when you look from when, I guess, Trump was president, when you look at that comparison, because that's how people are going to be judging the midterms, were things better when Trump was president? Gas was in below $2.50. I mean, it was relatively cheap, and since then it has been on the increase. And that is obviously one of the major issues that people have. Another issue, which we saw from the primaries that just happened, and I'll just head over to this Quinnipiac poll. This had him at 35%, which is I think it's the lowest percent that they've had him at. But I'm just going to go back. Another problem that people are having, and this is with Biden and this is with Democrats overall, is crime. And we saw this most clearly in seeing the DA of San Francisco being recalled in the election, in the primary election. I'm not entirely sure if that's how you pronounce his name. I haven't really dug into San Francisco politics much, but I believe his name is pronounced like Chesa Bodine or something. He has been recalled. He is a liberal. He is significantly to the left with regards to crime. DA in San Francisco, we've seen that shoplifting is on the rise because that has been reduced from a felony to a misdemeanor, or I believe, actually, I'm not even sure if that's what it was. I think just the police cannot arrest shoplifters, so that's on the rise. There's been a lot of crime just in general on the rise. And we're seeing the backlash in crime is a significant issue, especially in the metropolitan areas, especially in the cities. The crime is a talking point that especially can resonate with people in the urban areas. That is where Republicans probably would be able to grow, specifically talking about crime. That's what got Giuliani elected in New York. That's what got Eric Adams elected in New York. That's what got this DA recalled in San Francisco. And that is something that people are beneficial in talking about. You're not going to win talking about immigration in Manhattan. You're not going to win talking about even inflation in San Francisco. It's already an issue there. People have had that issue for a long time. So it's going to be crime, and people can see the effect of crime over the years, and that's why you saw that recall happen. And obviously there are Republican momentum. But this is San Francisco. This is not a toss-up race. This is not a lean Democrat, likely Democrat. This is a solid Democrat city. I mean, this is Democrat plus 50 points. I mean, this is very democratic of a city. So, I mean, that was a significant shift, and that obviously affects Joe Biden's approval. Other things are immigration, of course. People are still upset with that. That's a top issue. And I guess those are really the top three. Of course, there's education. That got Glenn Youngkin elected. And many more. So this is really what we're seeing in the decline of Joe Biden, and this speaks to the fact that I'm saying, and most people are saying, we are headed into a red wave election year. Expect Republicans to do well. Do not underestimate the Republicans. I'm not going to like, when I make my prediction, go crazy picking every single Republican to win every single race, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see Adam Laxalt win in Nevada, Blake Masters win in Arizona. Those are things that are probably pretty expected. Kerry Lake probably will win in Arizona. So you're going to have much more of those, I don't know what you would call them, Republicans that are definitely more to the right than other ones. So you're going to have that expected. If people think that Blake Masters is unelectable in Arizona, that's not correct. He could win. He very well could win. He could defeat Mark Kelly in Arizona. So don't underestimate these people. You could see Doug Mastriano win in Pennsylvania. Don't think that this is like, oh no, they're out of the mainstream. Trump won all of those states, aside from Nevada. Like Trump 2016 campaign was pretty Republican. Or pretty to the right when you compare things overall. And that is actually when he performed the best against Hillary Clinton. So don't think that these candidates are probably not going to win. They really will. They really do have a good shot at winning. And they are good in their own parties. They are they are the loyal people of their party. So expect that to happen. And it is a DeSantis effect. It's a Trump effect overall from 2016. But this is what's continuing. So based on the approval of Joe Biden, this is only another indicator, and this is basically what the main point of the video is. This is another indicator that we are headed into a red wave election year. I pretty much think Republicans are bound to get at least 230 House seats, probably more, probably upwards of 240, 250. But I'm not going to make a clear, estimate of that at the moment. But yeah, that's really all that I have for you today. I'll probably be doing a primary analysis of the Arizona Republican primary. Not the Arizona, the Nevada Republican primary, and a few other primaries that are coming up. I didn't really talk about the ones that were yesterday or a few days ago, but I do want to, continue to talk about the new ones that are coming up in August, which is a big month for primaries. But anyway, that's really all I have for you today. Please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube video. Comment below your thoughts on this trend in Joe Biden's job approval. It is only continuing to hit new lows, where do you think we are headed as we are looming into the midterm elections, which are projected to be a red wave year? Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all very soon.